EVSC certainly is acknowledged as a national leader in the movement for community schools, and I have to tell you that our community schools would not be acknowledged in that manner if it wasn't for the strong community support that we receive from our community partners. So I would publicly like to thank each and every one of our community partners that is listed, and also, if you have assisted in our schools in any way this year, would you please stand and be acknowledged at this time? Folks at VEC, don't be shy, don't be shy. Every Rotarian, there you go. Thank you. I also failed to mention Public Education Foundation, Amy Walker. Thanks for being here, Amy. But we heard her, so. You know, in preparing for this opportunity, I looked at last year's PowerPoint, and it seemed like such a long time ago when I looked at the slides that were on that PowerPoint. So much has been undertaken and accomplished this year. We have a new evaluation tool for our teachers and for our administrators. We're in the process of developing a new compensation model for our employees. We've adjusted the school day for next year. We're implementing our continuous improvement process. We've changed the paradigm shift really for health insurance, going from a one-size-fits-all approach to marketplace plan and instituting a defined contribution. Any one of those initiatives would be worthy of 1 year's worth of work, but we've undertaken all of those in just one short year. Since this is my third opportunity, I want to take just a slightly different approach from past years, and I really want us to take a look back at this year as we typically do, but I also want you to see the results of our collective work. So let's begin by discussing the strategic planning process that really took nearly a year to complete and culminated in the approval this past September by the Board of School Trustees for our continuous improvement process. Now, as an outgrowth of this process, we have redefined our values, our mission, and our vision, and we've established our 3 priorities. And then we've also developed 12 supporting strategies to accomplish our priorities, and all in an effort to make certain that we will achieve our foundational goal. Now, throughout this process, we've been aided by the PELP framework. Now, the PELP framework was developed in 2003 by the Harvard Graduate School of Education, also by the Harvard Business School, when they came together to see what the art and science of management could do to help public schools and to also help public schools improve student performance. Now, the Public Education Leadership Project really did evolve from that work. And it's very important to note this because we use this framework, this lens, if you will, to make certain that all of our work is viewed through this very important framework. Now, at the very center of the PELP cohesion framework is that instructional core. So when you think about the teacher, the student, and the content, that is what we're all about. Then the next concentric circle is the theory of change. Basically, that is an if-then statement. So if we actually do deploy the strategies that we've developed, then our 3 priorities will be accomplished. That's followed by strategies. And basically, strategies are a coherent set of actions that are aligned to our instructional core to make certain that we strengthen everything that we do for our students with the only objective of raising student performance district-wide. Then you see structure and systems and culture. All of those issues and items have to work in a very interrelated fashion because when one of those particular elements is changed, it has an impact on all others. And then certainly the furthest out in those concentric circles is the environment in which we operate, be it political, be it contractual things, all of those, it was noted, and I think accurately so, by the Harvard Business School and the Harvard School of Graduate Education, that they must work in coherence for any good outcomes to occur. Well, moving forward, the first step was to solidify our values. And I think that these are values that any entity would be proud to have. The first value clearly is that students come first. They are our driving force without questions. Every decision we make has to be based upon what's in the best interest of students. Then you can see intentionality, responsibility, collaboration, great people matter. All of those are incredibly important. And I won't go through those beyond what I have because I certainly see you staring at the screen. But then when you think about building upon our values, then we established our mission, providing outstanding educational opportunities through shared, committed responsibility. That really is our daily work, how we behave each and every day. And then building upon our values and building upon our mission, we finally arrive at our vision, which is excellence in student achievement. All of those have to work in concert for this to be successful. Then moving on, one of the most beneficial elements of the PELP framework is that the instructional core gives us that laser-like focus on what matters most in the classroom. And it will help us move forward toward our foundation goal. It also helps us say no, because I'm convinced that when you say yes to everything, invariably you're saying no to some things that really do matter. So it's critically important that we use this filter, this lens of the instructional core to make our decisions, because we know that the interaction between the teacher and the student and the content is at the very heart of what we do. All of our efforts have to positively impact that instructional core. And we also believe that to be a great district, 100% of our students must be on track to graduate, ready for college or career. So that is how we've determined that foundational goal of every student at every grade level is on track to graduate, ready for college or career. So how are we going to achieve this? How will we achieve our foundational goal? How will we achieve our vision of excellence in student achievement? Well, it is through that PELP framework, through that lens, that we have established 3 priorities that you see in front of you. And if you think about the instructional core, they certainly align to the instructional core. The first priority, student learning. We must ensure that we have highly effective teachers and school leaders that deliver a rigorous curriculum, instruction, and assessment to all students. To all students. The second priority, investing in effective teachers and leaders. Develop a human capital strategy focused upon the development and retention of effective teachers and leaders. I do this quiz quite often, but what do the numbers 150, 15, and 7 have in common? 100, the number of individuals that have graduated from schools of education and universities. They are now, those 100 graduates are now being replaced by only 50 students going in schools of education as a freshman. 4 years later, only 15 will graduate. 5 years later, after they have a job, only 7 will still be in the classroom. That's why it's so critical that our second priority is investing in effective teachers and leaders. We simply must invest in the people that we have. And then finally, infrastructure. That may not be too glamorous, but it is critically important. Develop the infrastructure to support student success. So each of these 3 priorities have 3 or 4 specific strategies that through the proper implementation will lead to the accomplishment of our priorities. And additionally, each of these strategies has a very detailed work plan that my team is very well familiar with that is monitored to make certain that we are on target to accomplish our goals. So, the doors we've opened. Well, I tell you that the EVSC that you see today is not the EVSC of even a decade ago. So, what's best for students? Well, I tell you, we can't prepare students for the 21st century if we're using 20th century technology. That's why in every single one of our 1,500 classes, we have Promethean boards. We are able to bring the world into our students. We also have 14,000 netbooks, one-to-one technology, not for playing games, but we do know that when they are employed by you, that we know that you expect that they are able to use technology in their avocation. We also have to make certain that students know how to use technology to learn. We just can't assume that that happens. And then the use of data, I'll speak to that in just a bit, but I want to applaud the school board. You know, they could have very easily said, when the inclement weather hit and we had the opportunity to extend the day either by adding an hour or by adding it on to the end of the school year, they could have simply said, David, put one sentence out to our employees that we will have school on May the 27th. Very simple, one sentence, over and done. But that was not what was in the best interest of students. So instead, members of my team worked the better part of 2 days to try to figure out, among our 43 different employee groups, who's paid overtime, who's paid regular time, who's already been paid for the time, how the buses will run, what after-school activities happen, how are we going to alter food service, all of those things that took a great deal of time, but it was in the best interest of students, and the board said that's what we need to do. How many school corporations would have just said, oh, let's tack a day on at the end of the school year, after Memorial Day, after the books and netbooks have been turned in, after the grades have been turned in? Real educational outcomes would have been impacted by that date, wouldn't it? I applaud the school board for their willingness to do and make those difficult decisions. And next, think about the 14-15 school day. For the first time, and for the first time I understand in 36 years of attempts, we've lengthened the elementary school day to the extent to where after a student has entered kindergarten and been with us through the 5th grade, they will receive an additional half year of education. That changes student outcomes. That's good for kids. And then what's best for staff? Well, we're the only school corporation in the nation that has people that practice operational excellence. Why is that important? We're the largest food system south of Indianapolis. We're the largest transportation system south of Indianapolis. How we spend our money matters, and I want to drive every single dollar into our classroom because that's where it should be, that's where it belongs. And through operational excellence practices, we're able to drive more dollars into our classroom than anyone else. Also, we've changed our insurance, as I indicated earlier, from a one-size-fits-all approach, which was easy for us to administer, to a marketplace design with defined contributions, because that's what's good for our employees. And then the evaluation system. Our teachers deserve a system better than what was handed to us from the state. I know we could do better, and in a very collaborative effort with our teachers and our administrators, we developed a system that I think will become the model not only for Indiana, but throughout the nation. Because our teachers deserve that, our students deserve that, and I am incredibly proud of their work. Once again, they could have simply said, give us what has been developed from the state and we'll move on. But we knew we could do better, and our folks deserve better. And then finally, guess who was really asking for an extended day? Guess who was asking to work longer with students and with their own fellow faculty members? Our teachers. Now, wouldn't you love to be in a corporation whose employees said, hey, we can do so much better if we are allowed to work with our kids longer, if we're allowed to work with each other longer. Isn't that pretty phenomenal? And I think our entire community should applaud our teachers for what they stood up and said we want to do. Next, EVSC is opening doors by providing great opportunities for students. I think it was last week. It's a little bit difficult this time of year. But I had the opportunity to chat with the Chief Justice Randall Shepard of the Shepard Academy for Law and Social Justice. He was in, once again, to chat with kids. And as I was sitting at the table, he remarked about how he had just communicated with Leighton Hopper. For those of you who don't know, Leighton Hopper is a student, a law student at Princeton University, because a gentleman named Randall Shepard took the time to write him a letter of recommendation. And then when the Chief Justice received the alumni report, because they don't have Greek organizations at Princeton, they have clubs where one eats and congregates, he saw that Leighton was a member of the club that he was a member of when he attended Princeton. So he quickly fires off a note to Leighton, to which Leighton says, hey, hope you can come to the alumni reunion because I'm going to be there serving. To which Chief Justice Shepard said, I look forward to seeing you. How many law students in universities never get that kind of access? And our students in EVSC have that access. Chief Justice helped develop the curriculum and is there working with our students. Then we have early college. 22 students. Most first-time college goers, all earn college credit, all have been accepted to universities next year, some with as many as 45 college credits. That, my friends, is success. The Center for Family and Community Outreach, they work with nonprofits with marketing needs, helping students learn English, marketing, technology, all of those things that are students are doing through service learning also, and then International Baccalaureate at Bosse High School. We're adding 9 additional classes in the next 3 years. That program is growing exponentially at Bosse. It's a phenomenal program. Also, we have the Medical Professions Academy at Central High School. Jory Barnett, head of the pharmacology program at Vanderbilt University, is very active with our students there. In fact, at their recent field trip, that was a life-changing field trip for our students. Please tell me where else that happens in the United States. And our students get to take advantage of that. EVSC Virtual Academy has been mentioned multiple times now as being one of the finest virtual academies in the nation. It is a K-12 program that continues to grow, and we continue to get students from other virtual academies that haven't been satisfied with the amount of human interaction in a virtual academy, because we know that's important. Also, Project Lead the Way. If you want to go to a Project Lead the Way school in Vanderbilt County, you have to go to an EVSC school, because EVSC schools are the only ones that have that. 11 of our schools have Project Lead the Way curriculum, and they prepare our students for STEM careers. Only EVSC has that. And then finally on the slide, the Southern Indiana Career and Tech Center, one of the top 5 career and tech centers in the nation. You catching on to the theme? Well, what about student outcomes? Well, I'll simply say this. In 3 years, with the ISTEP scores that we have to date, we have doubled the growth rate in Indiana. And every single one of our grade levels in ISTEP for ELA, English Language Arts that is, and math, have improved over 3 years, some by as many as 15%. And on top of that, from 2012 to 2013, students passing English Language Arts and math improved by 5%. And on top of that, EVSC is now the highest performing urban district in the entire state. I think there's only one that can say that. We've made tremendous progress. We're not satisfied with where we are, but we do know we're moving in the right direction. And now, let's talk a little bit about our schools, and let's talk a little bit about achievements that our schools have made. Tompkins, in their academic Super Bowl, #2 in the state. Oak Hill, e-learning, or e-leaders, phenomenal, 6th graders. Last year they presented in Texas. This year they're presenting in Atlanta as 6th graders, e-leaders. Plaza Park, 3rd place Global Virtual Classroom Contest. This one is amazing to me. EVSC had 10 students that had perfect scores in the end of course assessments for Algebra 1. Now raise your hand if you had Algebra 1 as a high school student. Okay. We had 3 middle school students, one 7th grade student that had a perfect score in algebra. I think that's pretty phenomenal. And there are lots of awards we could have put on here. Plaza Park, once again, had a 100% pass rate. McGarry last year, I haven't seen this year's score, but last year had a 100% pass rate -1, McGarry in Algebra 1. Helfrich Park, #2 in the state for academic Super Bowl. Oak Hill and Scott, 4-star schools. Helfrich Park, 1, We the People. Emily Kirsch. Now, I need to speak a little bit about Emily. She's very disappointed she couldn't be here. She could have gone on her class trip, or she could have been here with us tonight. And understand, she was disappointed. I think she was really almost willing to give up her class trip. But you know, maybe on that class trip, Emily is reading material because she reads at a college level, comprehends at a college level, reads and comprehends at a college level. By the way, Emily's a 6th grader. And Emily's not the only one at Vogel that reads that well. Lori Mannion, using Achieve 3000, acknowledged throughout the state for her work with Achieve 3000 for students' reading level. She is changing lives. Then we also, thank you. And we just learned, I think yesterday, that Cynthia Hyde's team won 1st place in the National Sea Perch competition. That's an underwater robotics program. Next, and I think these kiddos are here. 4 students, 3 at North, 1 at Wrights, were the only perfect scores in the entire state in English 10 ECA. I'll say that again. The only perfect scores in the state. Billy, I believe, Billy, would you stand please? Oh, that's not going to get it, Billy. You got to stand up. And I think Emma, yes, Emma, great. Marilyn Pate could not be here, is that right? Because she's actually taking a final. How dare you give her a final, Mr. Skinner, on today. And then Jessica Coleman from Wrights. Outstanding job, ladies, outstanding job. And I want to just say this next one because I practiced on this word. 4 EVSC students won the right to attend the Molecular Medicine in Action Symposium. I can only imagine what they're going to do there. Moving on, North High School Choir placed 6th in Indiana, 6th in the state. I had the opportunity to travel up Saturday. I think this is the 8th year out of 9. I know how difficult it is to get back there. Incredible, incredible. Clearly, out of all the groups I heard, they were the class of the day. They represented EVSC and the entire Evansville community in such a proud manner. So congratulations to you. Andrea Drury could not be here today. If you know that name and you attend Philharmonic concerts, she's also the director for the Philharmonic Chorus. Phenomenal. Just happens to be one of our teachers. So congratulations to the North Choir. We also have Harrison Math and English teams qualified for state finalists. North High School English team, they were tied for first going in all the way through the competition, and then they lost or missed one of the tiebreaker questions. So they came in second. So congratulations to Harrison and to North. And then Michaela Hamilton, one of only 40 students selected throughout the entire state by the Indiana Association of School Principals for an academic all-star. And she also is an incredible cellist. And then Amanda Graham. Amanda is an incredible kid, great family, and she is also a National Merit finalist. Also, we have the privilege of adding another commencement class this year. New Tech will have the first grads. And our New Tech is one of only 4 New Tech schools in the entire state. And then Molly Setzikorn received the President's Volunteer Service Award. We have a state champion in wrestling. And this is kind of interesting. How many of you knew this? Sig School is a great school. I think we know that they have received this recognition. But also Bosse and North. Now let's put all of the high schools in Indianapolis and Fort Wayne together, and they still don't add up to the 2 that we have. They have 1 magnet school in Indianapolis. We have 2 public high schools in Evansville, Indiana, that are the best according to U.S. World News and Report. And then there's celebration of leadership. I was very humbled to be part of that group. Didn't get an award, not that. But my organization that I'm a part of had so many awards. I don't think there's another entity in Vanderbilt County that can boast that many Celebration of Leadership awards. Jack Schreiber right there, Jack and Sue, Lifetime Achievement Award, one of many awards. Outstanding, thanks for being on our team. And, you know, we'll just throw this in. Reagan Ball, Clara Wright, as part of your senior service learning project, please stand, won the Jefferson Award. Thanks, guys. All of our students, all of our high school students are required before graduation to complete a service learning project. I don't think all of them are going to receive the Jefferson Award. In fact, all those adults that have won the Jefferson Award, please stand. Pretty phenomenal. And just 18 years old. what a bright life you have ahead of you. Just phenomenal. Inspires me. And now let's talk a little bit about some of our staff members. Sheila Huff, I didn't see Sheila. Is Sheila here? There, Sheila. Would you stand, please? Indiana High School Athletic Association Lifetime Achievement Award. Many, and we, please understand, we did not put all of the awards on here. Jenny Schroll, #1 teacher in the entire state for pre-K, our teacher. We also have Peabody Energy Leaders in Education. Phenomenal folks. This goes from Wyoming to Indiana. We're in Region 2. I think that covers 12 counties. I think there are about 30 recipients a year, and EVSC has 8. Let me read what, just 2 things, and I hate to lift these folks up because I don't want it to detract from anybody else, but Chris Robinson could not be here today, but he has the highest, or his students have the highest AP Calculus scores around at Harrison High School. And then Tim McIntosh, Greg Boyce, the chairman and chief executive officer of Peabody Energy, said, "We are grateful for the inspiration Tim McIntosh provides to his students, and we applaud his leadership within the school community. Mr. McIntosh is to be commended as an individual who excels at his profession, and we are pleased to recognize him as a Peabody Energy Leader in Education." Congratulations to all 8 recipients. Once again, Sheila, if you would stand, 2014 Athena Award, Lana Burton, 2014 Phenomenal Woman of USI and Community Award recipient, Kathy Gray, recipient of the Torchbearer Award. Please stand, ladies. Next, every month we have a cause for applause winner, 1 employee out of 3,400 that we want to lift up for their outstanding service and service leadership. What I really want you to take note of, though, is that all of our different employee groups are represented. I don't know how an assistant principal got on that list, because when I was an assistant principal, I guarantee you no one would have nominated me, but it just shows that everyone in the school in our school community contributes to the success of our students. And then the Outstanding Educator of the Year recipients. Ruth Bays is here, elementary. Would you stand, please? Is Melissa here? Melissa Perkins from Glenwood. Didn't see her. And then Darla Hoover from Central High School. And I'm going to let the slide stay up here for a while. That's right, EVSC is first in the nation. And let me read for you, first in what, you might ask? Well, the Data Quality Campaign leads a partnership of nearly 100 organizations committed to realizing the vision of an education system in which all stakeholders are empowered with high-quality data from the early childhood to K-12, post-secondary, and workforce systems to make decisions that ensure each and every student graduates high school prepared for success in college and the workplace. And your school corporation is #1 in the nation for this work. And here's what I love about that. Even our students know how to use data. This was a Facebook post of a young lady who was incredibly excited that she passed her goal in reading. And I tell you what, my friends, these students will be very well prepared to be your employees in the future. Well, how many of you were remotely aware of any of these awards by a show of hands? A few of you? Good. Well, I tell you, this is the time of year where we have commencements. I will be blessed to, by Friday night, have attended 12 commencements. But that is, I mean, it's pretty exciting. You know, I also had the opportunity to speak for many ceremonies this time of year, and as I was going through some of my material to prepare, I saw a presentation that I had given before entitled Leadership Lessons from It's a Wonderful Life. How many of you love It's a Wonderful Life, that movie? All right. I saw no hands go up of students, so we'll talk about that later. So basically, if you remember, George Bailey's given an incredible gift. He's given the gift of looking to see what the world would be like if he had never been born. And I think one of the most poignant moments in that movie was when he saw that thousands of soldiers on a ship perished. because he wasn't there to save his brother. And his brother then wasn't there to shoot down the enemy airplane. And the enemy airplane then sunk the ship and thousands perished. Then not too long ago, I heard of the efforts of Evansville during World War II. And I was amazed to learn that Evansville accomplished what it accomplished because our teachers, our vocational teachers, taught people how to weld and how to rivet. So what if EVSC would not be here? What would have happened during World War II? Because Evansville was acknowledged as one of the ultimate producers of wartime tonnage for an inland city. So what would happen if EVSC wasn't here now? I hope you see that we continue to have outstanding employees today. They're making a tremendous impact just like our employees did during World War II. And now I'd like for you to see and hear firsthand from some of our employees about why they do what they do.
My why is really a series of things. It's my opportunity to pay back people like Gene Rickard and Leanne Knighton, Walt Lewis, and William Miller, people who really believed in me and thought I could do anything with my talents, or showed me I had talents I didn't know I had, or showed me that I had leadership skill that I didn't know I had. It's also the opportunity to change our world for the better every moment of every day. And I owe this community a great deal. My job is to serve the Evansville community, and I can do that by making sure that all of our students have the opportunity and the advantage for success in this world.
I tell my students all the time, I care so much about what they do in the classroom, but I care even more what they do when they leave my classroom. Hearing parents come up and tell me, you know, we were talking last night at the dinner table and it came up, Mr. Mosby said this, Mr. Mosby said this. Got a letter from a parent even just recently that said that because of things that I had talked to them about and the way that I had said in class to their son about nutrition, that the entire family had gone on a weight loss journey together. Mother had lost 25, 30 pounds. Father was up around 40 to 50 pounds. Son had done the same thing. So it's moments like that that keep me doing what I'm doing and just make every day worth it.
Okay, I noticed that this student, she had shoes that were older and much too big for her. So I knew from experience as, you know, kind of growing up that way that her shoes had been handed to her from someone else. So the opportunity is to lift that child up and to see a cafeteria manager that does that is I don't know, like going to the Grand Canyon, and you know, people go to the Grand Canyon and they're like, wow. You know, physical creation is beautiful, and we do have those moments, but also there are those moments around interaction between human beings, and especially between teacher and student, whether the teacher's your cafeteria manager, whether the teacher's your bus driver, whether the teacher's your custodian, whether the teacher's your teacher. That interaction can have those moments, and we're blessed to be a part of that. So.
There's been a lot of people in my life that have helped influence me. You know, the Coach Seiskes, the Coach Marshes, the Coach Wymans, you know, teachers like Janet Wimpy, and you can go on and on and on. And you know, I've had a lot of people help me. You know, I grew up in a single-parent household, and I go back to how many lessons I learned and how many people were there helping me, pushing me in the right direction, patting you on the back, and the things that I learned and the relationships that I built with not just my friends, but teachers and coaches and administrators at Harrison High School have put me in position to be doing what I'm doing today. And so, yeah, we all have our days, our good days, our bad days, and our ups and downs, but you know, teaching and coaching is very gratifying.
Without going into the long story of what led me into the magical classroom at Lodge, I walked in and I saw myself in those kids, and I saw why those teachers come every day. And they come to empower those children to reach the greatest heights. And that sounds trite, but really they come every day for those children, to give those children a chance at life.
The people that are members of the EVSC are high caliber people, and they in turn, years ago when I was a student in the EVSC, saw something in me to push me forward and mentor me, and that meant a lot to me. As I grew older, I realized, those little times when somebody gave me that extra push, going out of their way. And our business is critical to our community's growth. And to have that opportunity to work with families and students on a daily basis and staff that impact students in such a powerful way is why I do come to work every day. That's my why.
Well, I hope you can see why I'm so proud and humbled to be your superintendent for the EVSC. It's pretty apparent that I work with an amazing team and also with an amazing school board, and I appreciate the blessing of being able to be the superintendent. We all know that in order to have a vibrant community, we must have a vibrant public school system. And my ongoing pledge to you is to continue to offer these incredible opportunities for the students who attend EVSC. So I ask that you share what you've heard here today about the amazing opportunities the children of our community have, about the hard-earned local, state, and national awards earned by our students and by our employees. And I ask that you be that positive voice in our community that our students so richly deserve. I thank you for being here today. I thank you for what you do. I thank you for your dedication. This community is on the move, and we're on the move with it. I am so proud to be an Evansville resident and public school superintendent. Thank you, and God bless.